debut. First showing for all of these guys.
XLG Gaming, the last line of defense to redeem a whole region. It is the Wonder Kids from China versus the unredeemed Sentinels. Make some noise, Toronto. Let's get this one started.
Now, Sentinels just the other day did debut their Sunset against Bilibili. You know, curiously, after banning it in their first game against Wolves, they have an all-time 75% win record on this map.
XLG on the defense here. Raga gets flashed onto the corner, but Bang is waiting for a coconut chucked a little bit low, but sticks it. Hangs around, and John makes quick work of Midi as well. He looks to try and swing off contacts with coconut. Now it's Beaver and Happyway. Neither particularly proximate to the site as Happyway steps up first, going on a bit of a solo endeavor. Was able to sidestep that relay bolt and aware that Zekin is still on the corner, and eventually there's going to be a multi-swing coming his way. He has to know it. Viva's still not here. Happyway's fighting for himself right now.
Viva slowly creeping through the link. No, going to double up. XLG opting to play it together here. They know where Zekin is. We can't going to get that information towards the backside as they scale forward. Time dwindling a bit.
At some point, they've got to give us a tap. Here's Zelsa's on the swing, but again, the spacing. Zekin finally arrives. Happyway got it to half the slide on it. It's good! Red Bull clutch for Zekin. Picking up where he left off.
Yeah, that was a 20 for 8 that he dropped on Bilibili. The first time that SEN played Sunset in this tournament. He was lethal in that game. White hot right now.
This is how it plays out. A lot of individual moments in this pistol round.
It really comes down to John here. I mean, you can see the XLG players, they are swinging for each other there. They are double-faced into him, but they just can't connect the shots. And the IGL, who has also been individually in really good form, got a lot of multi-kills in that aforementioned Bilibili game, turns up already too.
Watch out for XLG Gaming on these eco rounds, folks. Astonishingly effective when it comes to the thrifties. BLG felt it firsthand, getting thriftied 5 times over their last series against XLG.
Tagged.
There is no free round against this team. Rargo, when he picks up that Sheriff, is so dangerous. But what I like from XLG on these rounds is that they play it basically like they still have a full buy. Really strong fundamentals in these rounds, really great trades. He's also saw this late lurk in mid though, wants to find a timing with that Stinger after the spike's been planted.
And he's heard the obvious rotate through Boba.
There.
SEN, no, XLG Gaming are coming. What degree do I want to challenge forward to the Outlaw? It's a tough ask. Zekin's able to cut them down and then happy to walk away. It's on Midi and Coconut. Sheriff for the latter. And Midi says, you know what? Yeah, I think we're probably pretty cooked here. John, though, would love an early Rolling Thunder. He's about to get more than he bargained for potentially on this swing out, and yes, we'll be dropping that Stinger away. Zelsa should be quick enough here to take the kill. Midi will be unaware, not on the line. Okay. That's XLG all turned into all dwarves.
Zekin with a couple nice little shots there with that Outlaw backside, denying the re-entry. Raga wanted to create some space, but was picked off before he could even really get through that choke point at Boba. John gets very close to this Rolling Thunder. It's looking good for SEN right now. And John has actually picked up that Outlaw. They want Zekin with a rifle in his hand so he can be the space creator, get it deep, take strong duels, or rather, you know, with that strong weapon, take duels.
SEN might look to show presence early in mid. That's the standard top mid smoke thrown.
Kuka mentioned it on the desk. I'm interested to see how effective Midi is going to be in this Breach debut for him. Hasn't played it at all with Trace's team this year.
They're going to play off the fault line here. Sentinel starting to make their way on towards this B site. C's thrown in. Happyway is going to be forced to remain in this position. Paranoia, though, coming through from that Boba direction. That's XLG trying to set something up, but their anchors aren't ready to actually play off of that util. But there's Coconut and Happyway coming alive. And John brought down in seconds. Raga finally joins the party, but his team has paved the way.
Look at that from XLG, the way that they all just swing out of that dark cover together. What is so impressive about this team, the fundamentals. Their players are rarely, if ever, caught making individual mistakes, overextending on their own. It's always a double face, a triple face. They love to push out of smokes together. Look at the way that they're able to support Happyway. Really beautiful stuff.
And in that sense, This team is nothing like Billy and Wolves.
Exactly. It's so juxtaposed to how wildly aggro those teams are. Not that they don't up the pace at times, but when you think about a guy like YZ who is just going to extend constantly, XLG are really the opposite.
XLG don't want to try and play for halls here. 2 players in alley. It's an easy position to smoke off. The one way that was a little bit intimidating for them. Two-way wanted to linger. Bank can obviously TP across the site. They've dealt with this tripwire. Here comes a rolling thunder. This will force the players out of alley. Now XLG have lost that strong defensive position, the ability to set up a crossfire from Link as well.
Hoping that Zeki could have caught someone there, but XLG able to round the corner. Drone to reclear, should be pinging out Bang. Paranoia, but just doesn't want to take this fight. Wants to cycle the dark cover first.
The refresh of that one-way is massive. That is going to bleed some more clock, but Raga is already nipping at the heels, starting to make his way up from main. Narrate knows the pressure's coming. Turns the flash, and 3 players from XLG, 4 in fact, set up, and Zekin is here to mow them down. One more for the Blood God, he says, I'll have them all.
Absolutely stunning. The form of Zekin from that playoff run in Americas to qualify into this tournament has been phenomenal. Already 9 kills on the board. Perfect swing timing. XLG so distracted there. So distracted by Narrate to their left.
Nice round, boys. Good job.
That rolling thunder to deny alley away from the defenders really hurts them. They've got to put all their eggs in the basket of the push-up Link.
I've got to say, a story I saw many, many times watching this team in China is that they would go down early, win an eco, and then come right back barreling into the game. Got a few sheriffs here. Raga with that ghost. They want to go for going out. Push down A, take a little space off of this one way that Coconut's got up, standard, to control this area of the map.
And they'll always be looking to double or triple up, even in this sort of pistol round. Those XLG fundamentals have been instrumental in turning them from a 5th, 6th place team in kickoff to by far the #1 seed. Only dropping maps and a cheeky series to BLG. Coconut here caught by the fault line.
Where are you?
Now it'll slowly scale into that area given up.
There.
It was after that aforementioned BLG loss that they go on an 8-match win streak. Beating them again. Vivo with the first shot, second, and a little bit of trouble, but John's there to support. Cleans up those 2 anchors in market. Site now vacant. Throwing the plant over to Narrate. That's going to get him the Nightfall.
That's the kind of training Sentinels had to have into the site like this. No free rounds, no clean rounds against XLG. Zekin will be waiting on this now. Coconut sets up a course with a smoke over towards B main. That does leave Zekin as the sole player in the site. It's a little bit of a shoulder peek there. Raga not in a position to follow. Oh, okay. Headlong into that one he goes, and Zekin wants a little more. Get away! 10 health in a dream. Of course, that overdrive develops. Fast lane, you'd think would get him out, but somehow Midi's just picked his spot perfectly.
The headshot.
It didn't have to be, really, did it?
No, that's some ridiculous overkill. Midi just going to fall to the spike here. Sen will be very content to get out of this round, only dropping a couple weapons. Economy bolstered at this point, and they get Narrate that plant earlier, so he's got the Nightfall for the next buy round.
Sen realize they really have to wager a bit to get into market. They're going to be forced to fight for it fairly doggedly, but the fact that Zekin's been able to get out to 11-2 after 5 rounds, that is exactly what you need from Sentinels.
It is bold of them to pick this map into Sentinels. It was bold of them to pick Sentinels as their opponent.
I mean, I think they felt like
they
were honor bound to pick Sentinels. Their entire region would demand it.
Midi ready with this fault line over towards the A side. Crossfire set up by the 2 players with him. That's Coconut and Viva either side of main, and they are going to run into a couple. Fault line does connect, but Narrate second able to get out of the way.
Again, yeah, some space may be bored here, but Zekin's able to scale back into it. He doesn't even need any help. Narrate gets there. XLG are just cut down. A fertile harvest for Sentinels as they walk into an A side bereft of defenders.
Swings were not perfect from XLG. Trying to jiggle out just a bit. Picked off by Zekken and Narrator, covering both of those angles. At the moment, taking a duel against Zekken is just a death wish. He is in prime form. This has been a Sentinels that have still really been existing under the shadow of the success of last year's roster. Like you mentioned, still in the press conferences, being asked about TenZ and Saucy.
Yeah, literally,
Still.
like, what would Saucy think of this performance? Would TenZ be proud of you? Still, these old legends of the past are being brought up, compared to the current roster. And I do think, I mentioned unredeemed at the start of this game, I do think that a lot of fans are still unsure if they're back on board after the disaster in Bangkok. And you could even suggest, like, what would it take to get people back in SEN City?
SEN really have not been able to earn their flowers yet from the fans, but they are growing closer to that as this tournament goes on. I feel like we're going to be talking about him all game now that he's up to, well, a nice little 13-2. XLG have the 2 rifles they've carried over, picking up a couple late weapons for this half buy. Still so many ultimates to play with. And I'm surprised even that Rarga hasn't thrown that rifle to someone else and just to use the overdrive late.
I must wait a moment.
We kind of teased at it a little bit early, just how dangerous XLG have been on rounds like this in our home region. So far, Sentinels have respected them, focused on their own protocols to clear some of these more dangerous parts of the map, like that multi-push into market, for example. It's quite clear they are extending every necessary ounce of respect to their opponents, the #1 seed from China.
Playing quite passive at the moment. They were waiting out any aggression that would come towards A main. Narrates Prowler reclears as Zelsis just holds down B main. Nightfall is going to come through the site. A second extending through elbow. Second Prowler used to clear all of this out, make it safe for him to get right into this site, take the space for the team.
I love that! Happyway reluctantly gave up elbow as the Util came in wide, but he never really left.
And that's Rarga able to take a clean duel against Bang, who was trying to get through that one-way dark cover. Look at Zelsis on an absolutely mad flank. He was just chilling in B main. And now, John looks like he wants to get out of
30
dodge
seconds
from
left.
Jordan, come on. Into spawn he goes. Coconut with only a Sheriff. And he's got a sense that Zelsis could be somewhere close by. Perhaps not that close. Cyber Cage there for Zelsis. He might look to play around that neural theft. Also, John holding it down in mid, but time is short. They've got to get John out of mid. And he's brought down by Mini. Zelsis would have to try and salvage. He needs to find Rarga, but he's run off. There's no chance for SEN in this round.
He's just on the run with the movement. Catching off the spike in mid. John was operating slowly, a little hesitant to cross. And by that time, XLG have already began to rotate towards that B site. And Rarga just heads up play. I'm going to just run. There's no way that Zelsis can get this plant down in time.
Oh, I love that, yeah. Happyway had one of the only 2 rifles brought into the round by XLG. And there was a ton of util to force him out of bed, right? Relay Bolt, there was a Prowler. He hung around in the dark cover and then found a bizarre moment just to spring back in.
That instant snap onto the second, milliseconds before getting traded out. Same for Happyway.
That is a wild TP4 from Coconut. Pinged out though, they've heard it. Coconut by no means is committed here, but look at XLG fighting for mid. They've got Rarga up there in the middle as well. Paranoia, Bangdo has got around in a bit of a timing that XLG aren't ready for. 1 by 1, they crumble. Mini's able to get 2 on the round, but Happyway's going to fight for his damn life. And I'm sorry, are we not interested in the extremities of the map anymore?
SEN are just winning so many of these crucial duels. Everyone from XLG swinging out, but it's awkward when there aren't really eyes on tiles. Those players in market did not have the angle for a close peek. And so this is just so free for Bang.
Yeah, he's ahead of the Paranoia that Coconut throws out. They don't expect him to be so far forward. And he's like a second or so early.
Right there.
SEN have consistently kept the economy broken for XLG. Zekken feigning some presence towards A main, popping that fast lane, jumping about.
Go, go, go.
In the meantime, down mid, Raga taking a lot of space with that hero rifle. Look at him all the way down tiles. He just sent it. SEN now pivoting into B main, break the cam. They want to accelerate off of the back of this. There's no one to really anchor here for XLG. Maybe Midi can hit another lucky headshot with a Sheriff through smoke, but it does not seem likely at all.
I mean, look at John. He's also got this rolling thunder to punish a potential flood back in from these Sheriffs. SEN clearly realized the time for subtlety is well and truly over. Al drone Zekin wants to get ahead of it. This is a little bit dangerous. He's able to back off the line. Here comes the rolling thunder. Narrate trying to get to a safer spot. Zekin taken down. Over towards Marker was where the thunder went. And XLG now with these Sheriffs. Recovered rifle. Raga still working with it. Narrow with a shorty. Flattens. Raga gets on out there, but Bang steps up for 3. Make it 4. And Viva. Sideline cut off. No step to the side. And Bang is waiting for his just desserts. Not quite the ace though. Viva's recovered rifle goes to work. SEN have still made it a 5-round game.
SEN have done an excellent job at stopping XLG in the choke points where they're trying to get back into the site. That Hunter's Fury just did not net any value. Bang steadfast. Some attention being drawn away. Narrate fighting close to. Really well done. XLG have had no opportunity to get back in on these retake attempts.
An opportunity here though, Wyatt. They've got Raga over at the A side early. So might look to take some real estate off the rip.
Yeah, intentions to just play off of that standard one-way dark cover being thrown by Coconut.
He sees the Omen.
This time, over on that B site, if Sentinels execute in here, there are 2 kill trips that Happyway wants to play off. Aftershock forces out the cage, so he can safely cross to back. Site has a great cam for retake potential.
It's like Coconut just made use of from the shadows for information, cancelled it, and is back at A.
There's going to be a push down mid from XLG. That drone got so deep. Look at Raga. Oh, look at Midi.
Second at least knows Midi's up in mid. Have to assume that Raga is close by. They know they haven't wrapped because that trapwire is still intact. This timing is important. Now they know Raga has pushed up tiles. Bang went for info himself with that Omen ultimate. Now Sentinels have to make a decision. Back to B seems to be the call.
Like this from XLG, they get that pick and they immediately get out of dodge, ready to play for this retake. Sentinels, they want to opt to get into a B split. Again, the tripwire's still here, going to be very dangerous. Happyway wants to anchor back side.
Raga coming from the top of the map, he has the timing, he can get into mid. But Zekin has already gone to work on the defenders. There's Raga turning up. Found a moment to get top mid, dealt with Celsius and then followed through. 4 for a terrifying Russian duelist.
What a round. Love XLG's play towards mid there. Throwing in some proactivity and then retreating to play together.
30 seconds left.
When it comes to this site retake, second adding more to the board, gets to 17, but even that 2-piece is not enough. Raga coming to life. Happyway still able to maintain control of backside throughout everything.
I'm out of here.
XLG can definitely hang, but they've got a bit of a deficit to work on now. SEN definitely in a position to buy for this round at least. This time they show a little bit towards A, where XLG characteristically make use of Raga to stave any push-off.
Shadows traveling.
Dark cover is going to be thrown top hit, but there's a drone re-clear. Oh, no, I do believe it was broken. Coconut wants to get the info here. He's going to be stunned up, but second can't go in too fast. What a drive beats that! He is punished for his aggression, his recklessness even.
Yeah, with Coconut already forcing back, that doesn't really feel like XLG.
Viva wants to get here, only has the Sheriff, and now SEN opt to just take the time. Still a minute on the clock, no reason to force things. Again, dark cover just used to obscure the view from top mid. Happyway's going to need to go off. Tight angle connects the headshot, and now doubled up backside. Midi, that duo ready to defend. But look at the insert from Zekin all the way towards elbow.
Door closed over towards market side. Coconut not spotted on that flank. It's going to be John. He'll have utilities hands. It's an easy kill. Oh, it's the spike as well. Now he can refresh the one way. Paranoia comes in. SEN can't really afford to respect that. They've got to go for it. Zekin doubles back. At least deals with the Omen that gummed up the works. Now Stinger Sheriff and proper rifle for XLG, but Zekin is waiting again at box.
They want to swing while the spike is going down. Zekin can't connect, neither can the XLG players. Aftershock going to force him right into the fault line. Zekin in danger.
It's Bang though that's really under pressure. Cosmetic stun, apparently the fault line is. And this has bought time. Narrate's now been able to join the rest of Sentinels. Shila Gaming. I've got Viva here trying to shock dart his way on out. Bang! Caught by that one. A whole 46 points of health stripped off of him, and now it's down to Narrate and Zekin, the latter, who's just too sharp. 3 for the round, and Happy Ways, brilliant as he's been, he's going to have to bring a world-beating performance to deal with this. Got their positioning broken.
This is no problem.
5 health for Happy Way. Narrate needs to get in here, and he should be able to finish the job. Sentinels keep it a 5-round lead.
Who's but a moment away from being able to get a shot off with that Phantom. Perfect timing from Narrate. Zekin is simply inexorable on this map. 20 for 6. We're still in the first half. Come on. He is unreal right now. And there was a little timing mishap from XLG that was Midi's undoing. An attempt from Viva to throw up the recon so the player on site would have to turn, look at it.
That was good.
But Midi
Really
swung
good.
just a moment before it actually connected to the wall, was fired off.
We got to contrast this with the starts for Sentinels in their last 2 games, Wyatt. They started slow. When questioned about it, Kaplan said it's been different each time, the reasoning for it. He really felt it was important that the boys were energetic for the first map, for the first showing on stage. It looks like today, whatever they've done differently has worked.
Bring them down.
The highest contrast is the Wolves game where SEN could simply not win any duels. They're winning a couple right now. Zekin is unstoppable. Sentinels taking some control of mid. Dark cover, so they have safety on the cross. Trip is going to get this information for Happy Way.
Top mid play.
I mean, he just might want to swing. Yeah, this Trip would have to be broken, though. That'll give up the game. Zekin wants to go through. He wants to split this B-side from 3 angles.
Relay ball doesn't connect on anyone, and he's not happy. Not ready for Happy Way to be tucked in on that corner.
That was a cosmetic stun if I've ever seen one. Rogo wants to get into backside. He wants to anchor Happy Way duo. The 2 stars of XLG, the best aimers here to anchor.
Oh, okay, that's good. Happy Way at least able to make the trade. Normally, Raga's used to being set up by Happy Way, but here they're going to have to go it solo. Delta's around the cyber cage. Narrate was able to get bought tight and push up the right. And he has a multi swing in theory coming out from Market, but they don't respect John's position. Even in numbers, Midi though has to step up to the stage. And it's a big ask as Coconut doesn't fall far from the tree. In fact, right on the noggin of John. It's a Red Bull clutch for XLG to end the half.
The trade attempts are going completely awry for XLG, but Coconut clutches up to get them 4 on the board. As you mentioned, Sentinels here getting the exact contrast of the beginning against the other 2 teams from China. They are white hot. Zekin is looking like an easy MVP shout for this map.
Good start, yes, but it's about how you close here in Masters Toronto. We're getting a second half of Sunset coming at you on the other side of the Struggle that so far has picked and been picked by only Chinese rosters. And every single time, Sen have had to adjust coming into a series. Slow starts for the BLG and Wolves games. This one, though, looks like Sen are focused on their own game. Let's see if Raga, though, can get into the works to show some of his mastery.
Wants to go quick, hides in the dark cover for but a moment, and then a double peek out with Coconut. She's going to acquire that orb. As the rest of the team sort of passively watch towards mid, wanting to ensure that no one from Sentinels is getting too active, that they're not trying to throw an early haymaker at them. As the second half begins, Shock Dart to break a potential trip, but it's not there. To break another potential trip in Market, that's also not there. It's just a cam watching, which Raga will delete.
But I like this early round activity for XLG, just trying to take this Sentinel util off the map.
Look at this on the opposite side of the map. Happy Way he's in the B site while the team is trying to execute onto A.
I don't know if Celsius is aware. Oh, he's not! Happy Way's able to get the jump on him, and now quick pivot back as you would expect. This guy, he's been the star so far for XLG. Previously, considered a brilliant but often overlooked player in Raga's shadow. Happy Way's really taken to this debut on stage.
And now it's actually Raga who's left in this lurk position. Trip is going to have to be broken by Narrate. Just aware that he has some opportunities to take tools against players as the spike goes down. Planted for B main on the stairs.
Zekin hoping an opportunity might present itself. But XLG disciplined in this post plant.
Yeah, Midi has a full kit to play with in this post plant. Just ready in B main with the stun.
Aftershock already getting drawn out now. Relay bolt thrown on the side of Happyway, the one who set things up. But all of a sudden, Sentinel's back in with numbers. Midi trying to hold it down. Has 2 flashes to work with, and Raga tucked to his left. Surely he can do something with this, but instead, Narrate just ruins him. John taken down through the smoke, but does he know Bang is on the defuse? He found the timing, and Raga's arrived.
I dare you.
Red Bull clutching the pistol to close the gap.
He's just like that, so late coming back to the site, forced into a horrific position because the team were just failing to win duels against SEN, spilling back in from Boba. Midi caught awkwardly alone.
He ran him through with a bayonet.
Desperately needed pistol round pickup for XLG. There are some smiles too.
Close one though. Sentinels really in a commanding position before Raga got to them.
Gotta go.
Fault line playoff might be a little swing here. Fever at least though not stunned up enough to prevent him from letting loose these balls with the Spectre. Sentinels feed themselves into the wood chipper. Making for awful good fertilizer out there in LA.
That was a wave of utility, a nice trap setup from SEN, but simply not the weaponry to capitalize off of that effort. Zelsis all alone and with little to no hope at this point. XLG do a great job absorbing those swings. Even stunned up, dealing with Zekin, who was sliding his way in there, creating space so the follow-up swings could arrive. But it's not enough to do anything. Just a bit of damage to Midi. This is exactly what XLG need to get back into this half. They know they're right back in the mix.
Well, Zelsis trying to get busy.
Trying to get paid, trying to get a little extra cash from the bundle.
Listen, it's about just maximizing
Oh,
your
yeah.
cut per second out there on this
Oh
stage.
yeah, he was min-maxing the classic 1v5 for sure. Respect.
Reloading.
So Sentinels trying to go for the Gambit into B main here, but the ball line is not really enough to give them the edge.
Flawless now giving XLG prime opportunity.
Avert your eyes, Cubit, if you're squeamish.
Look away.
Eyes up.
Prime opportunity here for a bonus round pickup from XLG. This buy is pretty solid with a couple fully
Scanning ahead.
upgraded rifles. Standard first recon to get towards elbow. Broken, however, and Raga wants to slow down.
But for how long? Sees what he needs to at that shoulder peak. Fault line comes in and Raga tries to soar into the side, but Narrate clips his wings.
What a sick off angle from Narrate. That was lovely.
Bang was hoping to set up a crossfire with him. It's still a possibility. Elsewhere, Happyway is always a threat. I think Zelsis has learned his lesson about leaving that B site early.
He just throws down a trip straight up in main, which are pretty easy to break now. You don't have to commit a paint shells or aftershock like you did on the very old version of Sunset. That's going to be taken out by Happyway, and now Zelsis has to fear a little bit, though that cam is going to cover the full cross. The one he's got thrown up in market is XLG, taking their time, peeling away from A, working into mid.
Zekin likely going to be in a 1vx scenario in a moment.
Cam broken. Happyway working his way into B.
I like that idea. Let himself be pinged, but the timing doesn't quite line up. Zelsis realizes, yes, yep, Happyway is here, as always.
One
Able to get the
enemy
better of
remaining.
him. Winning that individual fight out is huge. And this would be a pretty strong conversion on the buy round for Sentinels getting back into this half. Fever's brought down. 4 rifles carried into round 16.
That's clean stuff. Zekin made a nice rotate there to pick up the double face with Zelsis backside. Take them off stairs. Deny Happyway. This high impact kill. The angle that Narrate chooses to take there is so unexpected, unorthodox. And because Raga is running forward on the Neon, no one has an opportunity to trade that at all. Love the way he plays that. Full buy from XLG. Economy on the line. They are maxed out. They've got all those heavy armors, everything that they need.
Well, that recon bolt not exactly having the intended effect.
Pretty similar open for the Chinese side, leaving Happyway over towards B main. They work towards A early. And they love to double back and just apply some pressure mid. This time, though, inserting Coconut into elbow. But it looks like Sentinels want to go for the re-clear. The Prowler does connect, but they don't want to over-push this.
This mid pivot for Sentinels is probably expected, but maybe a little earlier than otherwise. Didn't think it would come.
Look at how brutal they just threw at Coconut to get him out of there. Aftershock, multiple Prowlers.
Raga spotted out early. Relay bolt thrown to at least give Zekken a safe retreat. Narrate here. Might have an opportunity. Raga's pushing in on me. He's so deep, and Narrate's having to deal with him. Thought he was stunned up briefly by the relay bolt. Really declawed XLG with that pick off on the Neon. Viva very patient on this line, but Zelsis doesn't give him enough leg to make use of.
Left.
Remember, Narrate is in this A side. He's in the A side, creeping up on the Prancer. What a timing! Sentinels looking dynamic here. 2 rounds in a row after a shaky start in the second half.
XLG just getting far too disconnected from each other. Raga running all the way up through mid. Narrate is coming up in these rounds. I was talking about in the press conference the other day that back when Sentinels had that tragic showing at Bangkok early in the year, he was so focused on his individual play. And it makes sense. When he was in EU, he was much more of a star with K-Corp. But on SEN, realizing his time has gone on, he just needs to support everyone else. But he still picks his moments. He still wants to find the moments to step up, but he's not forcing it.
He always talks about how stronger the voices are on this Sentinels team. Finding your niche a bit harder. It's going to be a fast hit over towards the A side of the map, though. Wide second already on the line. Raga chunked down to 10. John is able to finish the job. The classic 1-2 punch. As the Outlaw rings out, it's Narrate again. Always in an awkward spot.
All of XLG now just stuck in elbow. The entire Sentinels team here. You can always expect Zekken to have the Outlaw on hand on one of these rounds where the opposing team has a depleted economy.
Happyway can only do this for so long. He still needs to help Midi get into the site. There is none of that breach util for the attackers to play off of, and only 2 stingers. And a team on defense that is respecting them enough to hold these lines, not good chasing kills.
Midi is just hoping that someone may overextend and push into elbow, but it's simply not going to be the case. The hope for XLG is going to be this next round, the full buy, where they have both initiator ultimates to work with. However,
30
it's
seconds left.
likely going to be the exact same case for SEN. Midi dealt with Happyway. Now spotted out, and it's only a matter of time for him. John will love to get involved, and that's going to get him the Rolling Thunder. The next round looking to be explosive.
And to be clear, this of course is XLG's map pick. It's a map that we don't really see anything of them prior, and have just started to see Sentinels pick this map themselves after banning it in their first game in Toronto.
That was a ridiculous first kill from John. Just spam through the box and caught a headshot on Raga. That is team really at this point. As we were talking about, though, as the last round was concluding, this is going to be an explosive round. So many ultimates across the board. The initiator ultimates at that.
Bring them down.
And likely XLG's last chance to get into this map in a real way. Absolutely throwing themselves at this. Harness Fury, Rolling Thunder, Neural Theft. Plenty to work with, especially if you can find an edge, a first kill, a ping on someone with a recon bolt, a post plant. There's some work that needs to be done to set up those win conditions for XLG.
Dark cover being thrown down there over on the B site, just to make it seem like there could be a lurk coming in. Happyway has certainly been happy to do that on his lonesome, but the bulk of the players are working towards a bang. Oh my god, barely caught twice on the run. Raga's hungry.
Happyway actually pushed up the left side at the same time, so great explosive moment there for XLG. Again, it's Happyway and Raga leading the way.
This is exactly what they needed. They have to worry about Link right now. There's no smoke to cover it up, and Narrate is just happy to get a forward position. This could certainly catch someone off guard.
Rangle didn't make a correction, but he does. God, he's been good here. Trying to back away now. Rolling Thunder comes through from the attack as XLG want to disrupt Sentinels as they make this push out of Blink. Timing is everything though. Rolling Thunder. God, they're using all of it as well. Nightfall expended now by Sentinels. Narrate not quite ready to get up on this line. Good damage though through the wall, and Zelsis has come to the rescue. Now, the Fate can keep moving. Raga is here in halls alongside Viva. Try and keep eyes on this. But that fast lane makes it tough, and Raga's chunked down to 8. These next couple of shots, critical for the duelers, so they do get second. But now it's on Viva. 1v2, Zelsis on the line. Viva down to 20, and that'll do it. They've done enough, Sentinels, to get themselves to map point.
XLG just could not extract enough value out of the Rolling Thunder and the Hunter's Fury combo that they sent out towards Link. Even stunned up. There it was launched into the air. I thought spotted, but spam never came through. Coconut just fully isolated, wrapped by the flanking Zelsis, encircled, dealt with. And then trading things out in the 3v2 are SEN. They are too clean on this map. It was a bold choice for XLG to take them here. Historically, a home for Sentinels since the John Cutie and Zelsis iteration of this team began. And they are as good as ever. This would require a monumental comeback, but second is too good right now.
In a market that would at least XLG have been able to set up a staging ground. This will leave Zelsis looking a little bit stranded, but do they check this corner? Absolutely not! A freebie for Zelsis here as Raga deals with it, but it's electrified play from Zeki. And on a fundamental level, there's not much.
Is the agent that he made his name on years ago. When we're thinking about those XSET days, just the other day against Billy, he was a dominant force and is even better right now. That was an all-star performance on map 1. XLG looking out of sorts, having some moments where they looked scrambled, nervous. They need to get their heads in the game right now, or SEN will have ran the gauntlet, beaten every team from China. We'll move on to the next part of the bracket.
They're the only NA team in the upper bracket remaining. Narrate has looked inspired today. Always unexpected, ridiculous off angles, round after round. Sheer wall drawn out here by Happy Way. And the rest of XLG starting to file into rubble. Rotates being drawn across the map by the defenders.
Yeah, that's due to just jump spotting on C, pressure into tree. Raga in mid-AR stock. This is a bizarre situation. Zelsis doesn't want to give them an inch, doesn't want to swing.
He's gonna wait, and there he goes. Emerges with a right click, and it's another one for the Five Merchant. And the door shuts. Narrate with the swing.
Spike down A.
Zelsis eventually brought down. Narrate also both offenders from the defense side quelled. But the spike's loose. Zeka might have a timing here. Disrespect the poison orb and push through seems to be the plan. Yeah, I for one am here for it. Step up on the site, Paranoia cut through. Happy Way tucked along with Coconut. This paint shell definitely going to rattle the cage a little bit. There it is, Happy Way brought down by it, but Coconut and John. The one way being respected. John swings while Paranoid, and Coconut salvages the round.
There's some momentum for XLG. Disastrous open, pushing into Zelsis. Tucked back tree. Can't get the trade after Raga presses forward. I believe that was the patented Zelsis arc rose in the top right that gets the blind onto midi. Second had a lovely nade there towards the end, but it was just John stuck in waterfall that entire juncture of the pistol round. No HP, cut off by the dart cover one way. Brilliant start.
6-1 are XLG on this map in VCT China. Definitely their best, but I mean, Sentinels have already handled BLG and Wolves.
That being said, they've shown a lot. XLG should be very prepped for this, and as bold as we called it, for them to pick Sunset into SEN, it's bold of SEN to pick this into XLG. This is right at the top of their pool.
That is Kaplan pitting SEN's best pick against that of XLG. We have a dual marshal take on this round. Okay, he is a wrench in the works there over at Rubble. Also confirms there's only 1 to 2 players, so SEN have every reason to stay here on the C side of the map.
Viva got right out of that drone to get the trade. A lot of noise here being made by Raga, going to open the door as well. Just try and keep the focus of SEN towards C and B, where they've been gamble stacking this entire time. As Viva on the opposite side of the map has been able to control the rubble area hasn't been
30
pushed. This is
seconds
an
left.
easy rotate. Call into the very vacant site.
And SEN are just going to play catch up here. And I know we mentioned it a couple times, but I don't think it can be overstated how different XLG's showing on this Sunset map has been from their play in the lead up to this tournament. The same play that qualified them. Online, they never fought alone, had great setups, were always on a crossfire, or at least a good spacing double swing scenario. Can they find their footing here?
There.
They don't have much time to get it together.
And you really saw Rorga online at his best playing that. Yoru especially, Chamberon's occasion as well. The Neon was so disconnected from the team on Sunset. That has to be rectified.
Being here on Viva, SEN trying to get some bang for their buck at the end of the round. 2 kills for the defenders, but XLG get off to a good start on this attack side. SEN elected to start on defense here.
Happy to collect a couple kills over to their initiators, but as far as early ultimates go, it's Zelsis close to that Steel Garden. He's able to just get an easy little right click to open things up here.
Let's go, we win pistol, bro, let's go. Hype, hype, hype. Let's go.
Locking in, getting excited. Rorga has the Vandal into this round. See if he can do something with it. Early recon to get out into rubble. Second wants to escape the baby door. Pick up a bit of a safer angle after that pressure comes through.
He immediately bailed. I think seeing the fast lane made him feel like he was not well equipped to take that fight head on. Important round to convert on for Sentinels. Great start. Look at that pop out of B, and there's 2 players sat on that line. Coconut and Happyway out of the game. Once again, another player doubles off the line. Bang gets out, realizing that Raga's coming for him now too.
And I'm sure XLG wanted to get towards B, but realized they just have to get into A fast after all that.
Planted.
Fighting occurs in main. A lot of damage done to Narrate in second. Perhaps if they had real weapons, those would have just been straight up kills, but maybe the low HP could be enough for XLG to get back into this.
Sees in towards Pip, that is definitely going to catch on the midi, decaying him down, holding him in place, and so Viva gets overwhelmed. No chance for midi to try and trade there from lower Pip. Gonna have to be a fast play now here from Sentinels, and when midi tries to gum up the works, it's Raga dealt with. And Sentinels give XLG just enough rope to trip themselves with in that round. Giving some space, waiting to double or triple up. Very nicely handled, that pace coming in from the attackers.
Yeah, there are multiple players stunned up. And that fault line comes through from midi for Viva to try and swing off of here. Look at that. 3 of them, in fact. Really hoping there'd be maybe 2 players up there. Certainly not 4. As one of them is able to get out of the way of that fault line.
And honestly, SEN with such a clean play into the XLG bonus have pretty even footing now into this round number 4. Steel Garden, developed by Zelsis, someone you mentioned was pivotal on this map and their run to playoffs. Already been showing a little bit of that magic.
Yeah, as soon as he picked up the Vice, even back in kickoff for the run to qualify for Bangkok, Zelsis was putting up some of the most impressive maps we have ever seen from him. Statistically speaking, it was Lotus, it was Vice. Rorga making his presence known. XLG do a good job of getting this wall procced very early into the round. Not able to deal with the thorns that are littered across that C site, but at the very least that will keep Zelsis feeling threatened as things progress.
We've seen how hard it is to sort of trigger that wall without, you know, like a Yoru clone or something similar with these neon comps. You do risk that little shoulder peek out on the seat. And now it's time for SLG to double back and return. Razorvine caught Raga briefly. He'll be able to regen up some of that shield to get onto the site. Once again, SEN are going to allow for this, Wyatt. They want the full retake behind the Steel Garden.
It's going to be ripped right now. Rorga's pressed up very far forward, and with these weak weapons, it's just all too easy.
John and Zelsis combined for 4. Finally, Midi will have access to his weapon, but not before Narrate cuts him to the quick. Sentinels very quickly dropped pistol. They have evened up the game.
Outrageous value from the early Steel Garden that Zelsis got access to. As this round closes out, Zekin doing enough to earn his showstopper as well. So advantages continue to cycle for Sentinels. can't be mad at XLG trying to get some full space. That is always a win condition when you're getting the spike down on C.
No good, no
They're
good,
not
no
able
good.
to push far enough to get out of the Steel Garden. They didn't have an opportunity to retreat to a little pocket that was on the edge of halls. So ultimately dealt with so easily as they just have classics in that scenario.
Another valuable defense side round for SEN. They feel like they're worth 2 attack side rounds on this map sometimes. Zekin sees enough. Draws a beat on Coconut with the showstopper, and that's the Omen gone. No more control or util for XLG to get into any of these sites. Means they can't cover off stairs, they can't cover off B upper. They can't smoke for a safe trigger of the sheer wall on C either.
Looks like the split attempt for B is coming as the fault line goes down. Nothing to cut off Heaven. Raga, does he want to push for more? Going to slide across, trying to get someone to swing off of him. Relay bolt decent, forces send back. Spike down.
But they can't stall the relay. They don't have any dark covers. Rolling Thunder though comes out. XLG hoping to fight with it, but there wasn't really an opportunity. Decken gets in there, downed by Midi Stinger, then Shorty, yep, will get the job done. Smoke there over towards that baby door direction. Viva needs to make a decision here. Can he peek on a timing with Happyway? It's awkward with the Marshall to try and get a retake, and now he's going to be revealed essentially by the Prowler. Happyway taking pot shots, but doesn't quite have the accurate spike location. He's not trained on the mark. And that's a defuse, seeing Viva looking a little uncomfortable towards the end of the round. He'll get narrate, but that is 3 in a row from the America squad.
That's simply nothing the XLG IGL could get accomplished. Trapped in baby door. Zekin just feeling like, damn, I got my showstopper already. I guess I'll just use it to win this anti-half-buy. Why not? Free little kill to set things up. Lack of smokes when the execute comes through. XLG risk a lot going for the Rolling Thunder to push into spawn, which is essentially nullified just by Bang. Anyhow, on this full buy, early A fight is going to commence. XLG getting out fast. Raga using that lane to get forward. SEN want none of it. They peel back to the site.
Looks like Coconut ulted for some information. Zekin down, that's a duelist out of the way. Happyway leads. It gets aggressive, but Bang's able to spray down through the box. A good TP away, and Narrate picks up the line for him. Again, defensive trading, very, very strong for Sentinels. And they swing around that corner. Bang is handled. Viva, though, low. SEN have given up this A site now.
You know that John retreats temporarily. Zels is silently working downstairs, hoping that... Oh my god, what a double face! That's beautiful from XLG.
And that our drone isn't going in John's direction. He is able to slip past it. Coconut, though, finds it. John knows approximately where the Sova was. But Coconut holds it down while his teammate was in the drone.
There we go. There's some of those good fundamentals that we are calling on XLG to have. Even when that execute is getting scary, chaotic. Center doing a nice job fighting backside. There was another great paranoia from Bang.
One enemy remains.
They're able to still double up, fight together. They clear out Zelsis, who is silently rapping downstairs. Well played.
Where is Raga? Where is Raga?
Here.
Quiet game, to say the least.
Hasn't been fully needed so far. Happyway continues to pick up some of the slack. Viva has a great round there with a Guardian too. SEN have had a great economy building though, so they're on an easy full buy here.
This time, no pomp and circumstance, no fanfare about this A-side take. XLG are allowed to simply walk up.
Lightbulb could come out from there. Stunned up.
He's got to hit Raga across to the side. They know he's here. Zelsis gets the drop on him. And the Razorvine means that nobody can follow up on the Neon. Oh, God. No one is looking in Narrate.
Last player standing.
Once again, it's the timing that
Spike
XLG are just
down
not
A.
ready for. In this round, the round here is really going to hurt the Chinese #1 squad. They pop up for air. Hard-fought round 1. And immediately sent packing again.
They just want to go for the full A execute fast. Sentinels making a good decision, good read on this round to pivot that Zelsis utility setup over to A. Everything there. And XLG just rush things right past the sheer
left.
wall. It cuts off any help for Raga, who's further kept at bay as the Thorns are on the ground. I believe there was an additional flash too. Zelsis again, that Arc Rose. It's just always in that same spot at upper tree. That's again the XLG duelist being disconnected, isolated.
10 seconds left.
It was awfully quick into the site, but I think they heard him cross. There was a player of Baby Door on a cover of smoke. Sensei, we don't have to fight hard for rubble this round. We're going to let you walk into that Sentinel util and hit you on the flood back in.
Neri too just able to get in a nice close-up tuck position, hold a crossfire. Obviously with good reason. We've talked so much about of the team most analogous to XLG. When now G2, the guard, debuted on LAN years ago after being on a sick run, that's starting in the playoffs and struggling at their first event. Both of these teams, the two best ascended teams we have now. Hard to not draw comparisons.
And this is XLG who are filling the shoes of EDG, which is a big job. As the top representative from their scene. Access gained to the C side, but as usual, SEN will allow for this. It'll be a flood behind the Nightfall to get back in.
The two hero rifles and the two best aimers from XLG. Raga wants to push forward. He's hungry for that first kill.
Oh no! Raga wins it out. He's first in the game. Eventually he'll fall, but he feels like he's probably done enough now. Narrate wanted to get ahead of this. In fact, all of Sentinels disrespecting. Here's that flood. Midi on the line, marked down. Of course, decayed quite low by that Nightfall. Coconut still gets his.
Exactly
Beaver going to be pinged out to the back of the site now. Nurok left here for the attackers and Happyways somehow wended his way behind Sentinels. It's all on John. Plenty to see, a lot of targets to go for, and he knows, of course, those pulsing tethers where he needs to look.
Unfortunate.
Happyway gives him a tickle. He's got 3 bullets left in the chamber. No time to reload them. An unlikely round win for XLG, but a much needed one at that.
It's taken us a while, but we finally get an XLG bad bye round win. They had gotten away with
One enemy.
things just like this countless times during their run in China. Finally able to flip the script on SEN, get their economy going, which has been a struggle throughout this entire series so far.
Ungodly flank timing from Happyway really unraveled that for Sentinels. Another rubble fight here, like he said, won't contest this whatsoever. So now it'll be Raga pitted up against Bang at the A side.
We've really seen this from SEN on Lotus a lot in this tournament as a whole. Not particularly aggro in the early rounds. They're not running it down. They're not sending it. They're letting things come to them, letting the game come to them.
It's the loss of the breach in this comp for Sentinels as well. They have a little bit less to disrupt with. You know, usually the Omen and Breach could double up there with the Duelist, but no fault line here for Sentinels.
Well timed on this pit. John throws down to stop any aggression towards C. Drone hoping to be used to clear him out, but he's able to get out of the way. And with the drone expired, you just really can't feel comfortable trying to get through the pit. So this is a pivot back to A, where a couple XLG players are inserted.
Is there a timing out of tree to be found for Sentinels? Zekken seems to think so. Door toggled. Bang takes an off angle, turns the flash. That's going to be checked for. Relay bomb comes in, but they're not ready for this! Zekken in the corner. Narrate from Upper.
One enemy
Picture
remaining.
perfect hold from Sentinels. Stopping XLG in their tracks.
XLG threw just so much utility into tree, but not getting the connections with it. Relay bolt, I don't believe pings onto anyone there.
No, it goes past them. Onto the site through tree.
Bang just able to assist second, pressed up close.
Oh no, they got pinged off that recon bolt.
The recon connected, the relay did not. Narrates there so fast to pick up Heaven. He cuts off the other duo that are trying to wrap into the site on the split from tree and main. And XLG right back onto the eco for what feels like the millionth time in this game. They've had such economic struggles throughout the series.
All right, snapped himself up a big daddy for this round. Odin in the hands of the Fade. Once again, that Vice Viper composition over at the C side of the map is a little more than XLG would like to see there. Oh, God. All right. Thought Marshall was going to blow some minds there. What can Zekken do here? XLG trying for a bit more of a meticulous approach to this bad buy. Break crosshair with Raga, then follow up on it. Zekken though gets out, he can sniff that something isn't right. Paranoia comes in, but he spaced this out a little bit with his own paint shells. Bought time now for the rest of the defenders. Hunter's Fury deployed onto the map, and XLG have unfettered access now to this B site. John will be forced away by this aftershock.
With some great util from them to get in. Heads up haunt from Narrate. We'll get the positioning of Happyway. The one hero rifle for XLG will have to come up huge with a flank timing, something.
The paranoia, maybe a seize to let them flood in behind, but they don't have the brim, or rather the breach flashes to work with. So far, so good. Still weaker weaponry for the attackers. Paranoia connects, Narrate deals with Happyway, and Viva now takes some pot shots in through that smoke. John has to get on the defuse, but Coconut's already found some damage, a better weapon maybe. It's half. John will be protected by Zekin. 6 defense side rounds for Sentinels. Have to make the coaching booth pleased.
It doesn't get much closer than that. John down to 1 from the shock dart that came through. Had to get off before he could actually hack the spike. That was looking more than dangerous.
One enemy remaining.
It seemed that XLG did enough, but Zekin stepping up. 2 isolated 1v1s. XLG not swinging together in that moment. Looked like Viva just couldn't get out wide enough through door, perhaps. Pretty disastrous, so winnable. Slips through their grasp. They've got a full buy. They've got a rolling thunder.
SEN actually throw a more decisive A-side variation. A bit of rubble presence. It doesn't pan out, though, XLG or elsewhere. They've got so much, a veritable ton of util to try and fight through it again. You're sliding past the shield wall. Where's the backup supposed to be for Raga?
Early in this half, they were able to get rid of those walls and then work the map, try and go for an execute late. These fast hits are just not going to pan out when you're not getting accurate information on the Vice. You just cannot run into Zelsis setups like that.
Are they assuming that Zelsis is at A again? There's no attempt to force that wall out.
Being forced to teleport away now, so XLG are going to get a bit of control towards Rubble. 40 seconds or so left on the clock. Still rolling thunder in hand. Will there be an opportunity to even use that to try and get back in this round where they're at a man disadvantage?
30 seconds left.
They want to pivot back to C. There's still so much util here. Happyway tries to find a timing. He does get in first, clears out some of the thorns.
Bank Shell could end him though. Nope, Zelsis gets to invert. A com-level flank play from Happyway over the course of this map, but he's too low to do anything there at that site. And that's a save here for XLG, whichever way you slice it. They'll have high hopes to make use of this Rolling Thunder overdrive couple in the last round of the half.
That's going to be their only hope, as the cash is lower than low. Raga is going to need to step up this overdrive. He has been so disconnected from the team. It's resulted in his 10 deaths at the moment. This was an issue on Sunset that simply had to be fixed on Lotus. But XLG's willingness to rush some of these hits to try to get in quickly is on 2 occasions on buy rounds, just ultimately ended up in their demise. This is it for them. Raga has the Bucky with the overdrive at that. They're getting out fast on A. It's Bang actually who's picked up the Odin right now.
No Haunt pings though, nothing yet to play off of.
They have dodged the Prowler that Narrate just sent to get some info, so perhaps some false information. XLG, they want to contact off the back of that Prowler, not connecting, press up a bit far forward. It's a baby door. They want to get into this big site right now. Raga going forward with the overdrive. Vulnerable up. Can he even find a target? How deep does he want to push?
John still respects it. They're trying to set up a multi-phase situation. Raga down to 49. He's got himself 2. And that's going to have to be enough. Shows up for second. Fired. Oh, man. And the paint shells. He's doing it all.
Not only does he stop the plant, but that's the Rolling Thunder gone.
Now Coconut trying to figure out if there's a way to make use of this from the shadows. But instead he goes to the Shadow Realm. Zekin and Bang are in no hurry. It's out to Happyway, who's definitely been the most inspired component of this XLG outfit to try and make this respectable 5 rounds in this first half.
30
If he
seconds
can get
left.
this plant down safely, which he does, we'll have an opportunity to throw that neural threat. There we go. He knows where to look.
Now Now, sometimes, even if you know what's coming, doesn't make it any easier. It's second with 3. And SEN complete yet another 8-4 half on a map they themselves chose, knowing full well that it was XLG's best battleground.
2 of the rounds, XLG earning the pistol and initial anti-eco. By the way, the gun rounds dominant from SEN. They are playing so well today.
Got a quick break here, a chance for XLG to take their breath, and they need it. Stick around and see if this Chinese team can find their feet and composure after this.
Star player who dominated the Chinese region to get here in the first place. They need to come to life, get their heads in the game, shed the nerves away.
We said they had one of their 3 win conditions in that first map, and it wasn't enough. This time they got 0. Raga gets off to an A start. Let's see if it's going to be a good one. Zelsus has just had his number the entire game, and this round is no exception. Coconut's on a flank here, but they hear the footsteps, the pitter-patter. Bang is ready for it. Fever
Last player standing.
and steps up. John is just too clean with it. It's on Happy Way, who's not been able to reprise that incredible performance from Sunset. The 2 has been a little quiet.
Is it a good idea from XLG? Sure, but the execution falls to pieces. Where are the trades? Where is the good spacing that we saw from them in their run? It just crumbles in that moment. Can Happyway be a hero? Catches John on the cross. Isolated 1v1, but it's one out by Bang. And it feels like that could be the nail being driven into the coffin of XLG. He swings, he's disjointed. He's got the flash out, not the gun out. Assist to Viva.
Nice, nice. Okay.
Coconuts
We won that round, but
too
better
far
comms
ahead
than,
on that initial swing.
Like micro comms. Like I'm.
And even though these rounds have been won by SEN, as you can see, they're not fully satisfied. I mean, Kaplan does seem a little bit more relaxed than usual.
He's allowing Qbert to watch the game once again.
He's removed him from the corner, unblindfolded him. So this is, well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. XLG are praying to whatever god they believe in, that Sentinels blunder into the B site. Eventually they're going to have to go hunting themselves. They have 0 info. Outside of this cam that's watching Mound, that so far has yielded nothing. Maybe a multi-push off this B main position, but Happy Way. He had it all to do on that corner with the Sheriff. It'll be tough to pull off.
And with the Cypher pressed up so close there, dying alone. SEN know they're just supposed to accelerate into this C site. The rest of XLG with classics only. They're the only one here to deal with them so far. Swing is going to come from Zelsus. Raga gets 1 trade.
Yeah, this thing is here for Sentinels. Will have plenty of application. Raga's got a Bulldog to hand currently. There is the quad stack that XLG tried to set up at the start of the round, just got used against them, albeit with better guns.
That long-range stinger coming into play. It's now or never for XLG. Sentinel's bonus round buy is not incredible. Could certainly imagine a scenario where they want to hit just a fast B execute, get Zekin up close with the stinger, try to get him into heaven off of a double satchel.
He's got a judge.
I'd be shocked to see something like that. Oh, it does switch it up actually. Throws the stinger elsewhere. Maybe exact same plan, but just do it on C. Raga wants to fight. He loves to fight Mound early. Did this a lot when he was playing Yoru on this map during the Taeho meta, which they were leaning into heavily.
We've seen so much less of that sort of Mound fighting happening here in Toronto in this current meta wire. SEN especially have not gone for those early fights.
Now look, you have that deep cam placed into Mound by Happyway early again. Sentinels are opting to leave Zelsus in this position, keep their options open for a potential pivot back as they want to re-clear towards Mound in this mid-round. Narrate does have a Prowler to get out here, potential Haunt as well. Stun onto Zelsus, they want to isolate this fight. Raga pushing forward, great double peek. I love that proactivity to find an advantage. That's going to give away the game as well. Look at the rotation from XLG on the top of the map, taking out that Sentinel. They know the hit is going to be coming into A.
Zekin's got one job and one job only, but Viva had the stopping power of a Mack truck to take the Raze out of the round. Bang, drilled with bullets through the boxes. Narrate getting just the kind of engagement this Stinger player wants. John's actually got a rifle to play with.
One enemy remaining.
He will be the
30
last
seconds
one
left.
standing.
Spike down A.
Right from Prince, John stepped
Ace.
up, knocked it down. Like you mentioned, not a great bonus here from SEN, but XLG get the drop on Zelsis over at Mound, convert to a nice little A retake.
That's exactly why they have that cam there. They get a good little mid-round moment for Happyway to suddenly enter it, gets the view on Zelsis. But that's just a guy with a stinger. We have Neon, Relay Bolt. Let's just get that fast double peek. Hubert, it's going to be okay.
Blink twice if you're in danger.
Now here we go. Sentinels fully buying up into this. Narrate to the attack side, Odin even. XLG early, triple walk down the mound side. Recon Bolt dealt with. Viva takes some damage on the jump spot, but does get the valuable early information.
XLG, yeah, I mean, this mount position can be effective if you are able to scale off of it. But there's a sheer wall that Zelsis can use to watch for that kind of push behind Sentinels. We'll let them know at least in advance that they have a timer against them. Narrate pinged out, so he needs to back away to the safest spot possible.
Still waiting.
Got the Odin here, so definitely want to work as many of these corners as possible. In fact, the B side was just the one for that. This door toggle, Zelsis has to call this quickly. He's able to avoid the paranoia, but he doesn't want to take this fight.
They've left second all the way over in tree on A, by the way, as they're trying to get him stuff. Rogo, again, able to find an opener. And it's a pivot back as Second is just taking this forward position. Can Happyway catch him? Yes, he does. Second shot inside.
SEN here making a couple of rough assumptions. And Narrate is getting involved here with the Odin. No one getting pinged out by that recon. Bang with a smoke on upper, but still no plant. That spike is loose.
This is XLG just taking his time, ready to pounce when the spike gets tapped. 15 seconds left.
He's playing close, and Raga. That is a full Ferrari pick there for Nang.
10
Nicely
seconds
jumped.
left.
7 seconds left. Still needs to be a plant at some point. John taken down by Coconut. Off that push from stairs.
Last player standing.
And it's all on Bang. Bulldog with Midi and Viva standing in his way. Wraps around, but XLG are doubled up there. They're willing to take 1v1, but Bang's not going to give him the bloody choice. 4 kills with a Red Bull clutch. And SEN once again grasp at the next round of playoffs.
XLG just cannot be giving that away this late in the game. Bang, that initial kill, the paranoia into the swing on Raga at Waterfall to bring it into the 3 versus 3. As Coconut just swings onto him a little bit early before the players from Heaven could descend into the site. Doesn't wait to play off the fault line or the flash, and he's punished for it. I think this is, frankly, the best map that Bang has had so far in this tournament. XLG are in so much danger. And at a moment that felt unlosable, there were only 15 seconds on the clock.
And now Sentinel's expecting some form of reprisal from XLG. Very passive, looks over towards the A side. Inching forward on B, Outlaw for Zekin. It's a perfect round for him.
Slow take of Mound using the Prowlers from Narrate. Very passive here as John just trying to ensure that no one from XLG pushes too deep. Second taking the peek, what? Whiffs onto Midi! Rapid sheriff shot.
And then Mini can just have himself an Outlaw. All of a sudden, the weaponry from XLG looks much improved.
That was bold from Zekin. He's swinging potentially into multiple angles where he could have even gotten just traded out, but now Midi has picked up the Outlaw. A couple light armor / regen for SEN as they walk towards these trips necessary to break it. Spike is here, and Narrate.
Nightfall now available here for Narrate. Bang also with it from the shadows. A lot to work with, and the spam is going to be deadly from this Odin. A very permeable piece of wall stands between SEN and XLG, and Raga hopes to step up. Razorvine here is definitely going to be respected. Still not yet a plant, and Narrate has gone down. The spike is loose. John's going to come forward. It's him and Zelsis versus the entirety of XLG's combined might. And Zelsis with the spray down gets him there. What an absurd way to end it. Sentinels descend into bloodlust. and set up match point.
XLG just need to rush in there, stop the spike from going down. Multiple situations now where there is little to no time on the clock for Sentinel to get the spike down. There's so much excellent pressure from XLG coming in. But things are again disconnected. Coconut just a little bit too fast. The three of them not swinging together. Zelsis able to take advantage. The bait of the spike plant tucked into the corner to get the two-man spray down. Some elation from Kaplan and post-plant. Second just needs to collect an orb somewhere, send it in, route the XLG players. They throw down that Viper's pit, and it should be all said and done.
A win against Wolves was called Mickey Mouse. Against BLG, SEN weren't really given credit. An easy run to playoffs, they said. Now against the #1 team from China, selected specifically by them. At what point do we start realizing that they're a separate team to what they were last year, giving them that credit? And at what point do they redeem themselves after a shocker in Bangkok?
It's slow from SEN to open things up, expecting that out of the timeout there could have been an incredibly proactive play from the defenders, pushing at them. It's Roga alone in mount. Danger as Zelsis does spot him out. As you mentioned, this Hunter's Fury available. That could be the crux of XLG winning this and staying in the game.
There's the smoke. This might be a pretty quick one. SEN really angling for a powerful post plant with a Viper's Pit in the mix. Coconut feels the pressure. It's immense. Second now in the show, sort of holding on to this for a time. To upper, what's the timing going to be?
30 seconds
able to
left.
avoid it. Here is that Viper's Pit though. All of that retake, you two are going to start to be expended by XLG. They're going to try to find a way into this pit. Coconut starts though. Seconds down. John is down and so is the pit. On top of the Razorvine. XLG have found some step, but Bang and Narrate still stand in their way, and Bang, careful on the corner. Swing on Raga, reads low, the slide is good. And now it's Narrate. He'll be revealed in a moment, but he'll do the same. Throw that C's in. Spray around the corner. Raga to half, and out the way. Keeps XLG's head above the surging tides.
Their star duo activate in the 2 versus 2. Look at the way that they take care of Bang on that angle. Varga's movement just baits it out of that position and swings wide, sliding deep. Happy Way able to capitalize off of Bang's crosshair placement being broken. The first step taken in an arduous journey back into this game. But XLG have managed to, at the very least, put SEN onto an eco. Just given they did so much damage in those prior rounds, that they certainly walked away from feeling like they should have even won. SEN, all players stacked up amount, probably gets the info. What? The long range stinger!
Coconut, who stood tall in that last retake, has already fallen. Chance for a gun recovery, Bucky Town is exactly where Raga gets dragged. Narrate is low. There's a rifle picked up for Zach, and John goes to work. XLG thrust onto the stage, thrust into the spotlight to speak on behalf of their region against the juggernaut of SEN that is dispatched their countrymen one by one by one. Now put it all on Viva. And Sentinels have no incentive to push off this site whatsoever. They'll await the chime of the victory music. Viva down to 15 is all too much to do for XLG and Sentinels! The Reaper to visit the last door of China.